I've therefore called the Newberry County Board of Zoning Appeals to order on Tuesday, October the 5th at 5:30. We'll proceed from there. Before we get started, I'd like to take care of some housekeeping issues, please. If you have a cell phone, I would ask that you either turn it off or mute it so that it will not interrupt our business. If you're going to speak on any of the cases we'll be considering today, please sign in with Miss Bridget. If you are speaking, you are to be considered under oath. And when you do speak, we'll ask you to go to the podium to my left, state your name and address for the records, and then you go from there. And I was going to say, after all the cases are heard, if yours has been taken care of, you may be excused, but you're the only case one day today, so we'll proceed from there. Okay, ladies and gentlemen of the board, each of you received a copy of the minutes of the September 7th meeting. What is the wishes of the board on the minutes?
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to approve the minutes as is.
Mr. Mr. Ransdale made the motion and Ms. Coleman second. Any further questions or discussions? Not all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? The minutes are approved as mailed and presented. I have no old business that's supposed to come to this board, so therefore we'll move to the first case, and this is case number VA 01-10-05-21. This is a variance request for the relief of a 2-acre minimum lot area requirement to be 0.703 of an acre for a private cemetery. The property is located off Red Knoll Road, Chapin, South Carolina, tax map 740-14. Ms. Works.
The children are in the process of eventually selling their parents' property, but before they do that, there is a family cemetery right in this area right here. And they would like to be able to survey that out so that they can keep that in their family and maintain their family cemetery. Zoning ordinance requires a 2-acre minimum lot for a cemetery. So they're here tonight to ask for a variance to allow their family cemetery to be 0.703 of an acre so that they can maintain their family cemetery.
Any questions of?
And staff does approve or recommend this variance.
Thank you. Any questions of Ms. Works? If not, we'll proceed. Is anyone here speaking in favor of this request?
Do y'all want to add anything? Okay.
You can sit, let him sit right there.
Got enough cord?
Push it or
It won't go.
Nope. Cord there.
Yes, sir, we're in favor of this request. This is what we're requesting, just what she said.
And your name, please, sir, and address?
Okay, it's Ralph Thomas Cumberlander, and my address is 1425 Hants Road, Prosperity, South Carolina.
Okay. Any questions of Mr. Cumberlander? I have I've looked at this thing, and how are you going to maintain the integrity and the dignity of this cemetery without it being enclosed in or intruded by anyone else?
We're gonna get it surveyed off and mark the property lines on it and keep it up as such. We'll maintain it and the whole works.
How big is that square? I looked at the drawing and I couldn't determine how .703.
Put some measurements on it. Let me see, read it.
I couldn't see them on the stuff that I had.
Read them all for me. What is the distance, right?
Was it 200 and something? I couldn't.
266 and 115 wide.
Okay.
It's actually bigger than what the graveyard is right now.
Okay.
What's been marked off before.
Will additional sites be put in there?
Sir?
Will any additional family members be buried there?
my sister and her family are for sure. And of course, it's a private one, so other than immediate family, that's all
what I
will
meant
go in.
anymore. Okay.
And they're the only ones I know of. My other family members are gonna be buried somewhere else.
Any other questions of Mr. Comalander?
How long has this been in your family?
Sir?
How many years or how long has this been in your family?
Since '69, and before that, it belonged to one of our other family members, preceding family members. My father's father, really, my grandfather.
So it goes back several generations then?
Sir?
It goes back several generations?
Yes. There's some pretty old graves in there.
Okay, any other questions? Okay, thank you, Mr. Cumberland. Is there anyone else here speaking for this request? Hearing none, is there anyone here speaking against this request? Seeing none or hearing none, then members of the board, we must consider the following before we take action on it. Now refer to the determining factors, and that is in accordance to 153.052 and 153.125 and 153.052, 1 through 5. Number one, there are extraordinary and exceptional conditions pertaining to a particular piece of property. Two, these conditions do not generally apply to other property in the vicinity or the district. Three, because of these conditions, the application of the ordinance to a particular piece of property would effectively prohibit or unreasonably restrict the use of the property. The authorization of the variance will not be of substantial detriment to adjacent property or the public good, and the character of the district will not be harmed by the granting of the variance. And five, the effect of the variance will not allow the establishment of a use not otherwise permitted in the zoning district, would not extend physically a non-conforming use of the land, would not change the zoning district boundaries shown on the official zoning map. And you also would refer to 153.125 that states that that would be a 2-acre minimum. So you've heard the request, you've heard the factors to be considered. What's the wishes of this board, please?
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
I'm familiar with the family and the property in question, and I think it's honorable and commemorative that the Cumberland family is willing to preserve and maintain this family cemetery. I move that we accept the request as requested.
Mr. Bolden has a motion to accept the request.
I'll second, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Ransdale seconds. Any other discussion or questions? Hearing none, then all in favor of granting this request signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed? The request is granted, you may proceed. Is there a time limit, Bridget, before they can act or anything? Okay. All right. Thank you all very much.
Thank you.
You may be excused. If there any other business, it says none. Our next meeting is scheduled for November the 2nd, 2021 at 5:30. Do we have any business, Bridget? Yes, we do. Okay, all right. Any other business come before this board?
If there's no other business, Mr. Chairman, I move for the adjournment of October meeting.
Ms. Coleman moves for the adjournment. Is there a second? Second. Mr. Lister, second. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed? The meeting is therefore adjourned.
All right.